What's good, y'all? I've got some really nice buffs for Rapidash. So before I get into anything here, I do want to have a quick disclaimer for any new viewers who are just clicking on this video. Welcome to my channel. This is a very elaborate, in-depth, detailed ROM hack, and you can check out all of the buffs and changes for every Pokemon and all of the move buffs and changes, of which there are 600 plus on the Google Sheet. It's linked right down below in the description. You can click it right now. You can go on your PC, you can bookmark it and check it out on there. It's not optimized for mobile, so any mobile viewers, yeah, rip you, I guess, but you can always just check it out on a computer, on a laptop, whatever it is. And if you check here on the bottom tab, well, not only there are a bunch of other useful tabs here that you can check out, there's also this move sheet, which is by far probably the most important sheet. And you can check out all 600 plus move buffs and changes. There are so many of them. I've reworked literally every move. They're organized into so many different categories. You can check out what all the new moves do. So yeah, give those a look. With that being said, though, Rapidash, very simple buffs and changes, but they are very good and very effective. So fire normal typing, I think it fits Rapidash very, very well. It's unique. The only other fire normal type is Pyroar. And it gives them a nice ghost immunity. Obviously, on a slower, bulkier Pokemon, that fighting type weakness would suck, right? I mean, I would still say it's kind of a fair trade, but on a fast, offensive Pokemon that isn't that bulky, that normal typing is almost always going to be beneficial because it gives you a free switching opportunity on ghost type moves, and you're already dying to strong fighting type moves, especially in a hack like this where every Pokemon is very strong. You're going to die to fighting type attacks regardless of whether or not you're running that, whether or not you have that normal type or not. And it gives you, most importantly, that normal type stab, which pairs nicely with your fire type stab to hit things that, would resist fire. Like, you can hit water circuit damage. You don't need to run wild charge, for example. Although wild charge is much stronger and works really well with reckless, which I'll cover now. So reckless, very fitting ability for Rapidash. It's now a little bit more of a mixed attacker. It's much faster, and it has the ability speed boost to switch from. So essentially, you're trading between speed boost or reckless. You might be thinking, and if you're competitively minded, you might be thinking, why would I ever run? Even then, you probably still have a use case for reckless, actually, but I would say most competitive players at least would prefer speed boost because speed boost is ridiculously broken in a competitive sense. In game, however, you're still going to be forced out by a lot of the same things that are forcing you out in the first place. You do resist some of the most common priority moves in the game, especially first impression, so that's nice as a fire type. And the beautiful part about speed boost is despite having a very high base speed stat, first of all, there are a lot of Pokemon that are faster than you anyways. Second of all, you're not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed a plus speed nature. You're not guaranteed max speed IVs in this hack. So what that means is, say for example, you catch a Rapidash and you get like 15 speed IVs and a neutral speed nature. I'll just hypothetically look at that. You're hitting only 333 speed with max speed investment, which means you're outsped by, I believe, base 101. No, 102. 102. So any Pokemon with base 103 speed or higher is going to outspeed you in that case. On the AI's team, of course, if they have a plus speed nature, which in most cases they probably would if they're a faster Pokemon. That makes a lot of faster, fairly offensive Pokemon a little bit less overpowered than you might think that they would be. Not that they would be regardless, but that's a big issue a lot of faster guys have in this hack. So what that means is speed boost on a Pokemon that you might think it's overkill on is not overkill. Not to mention, you don't have to run any speed investment with speed boost. So say hypothetically you get a minus speed nature, say you're brave nature, and you have 0 speed IVs. Worst case scenario, that's really unlikely, but with 0 speed investment, after 1 speed boost, you're still hitting 343 speed. And of course, you can always speed creep. So say, for example, you see for this boss fight, I'm going to click Protect on my Rapidash, or click a setup move on my Rapidash, and then try and outspeed their Pokemon that has this certain amount of speed. You would put 30 speed EVs in, now you're hitting 352, now you outspeed base 110 speed Pokemon. Alright, that's the hypothetical situation. And it's really easy to customize your EVs in this hack, and of course switch your abilities with an infinite usability capsule, but EVs can be instantly swapped around within this hack, so you use items and you easily and instantly switch your EVs, so you can run a special set for a certain fight. I did give them a lot of really good special attacks very early on. Searing Shot at 40, Burn Up at 42, which is really good for like totems especially, but also just to have in general. Inferno, not the most reliable. I wouldn't run it unless you're not weapon Nuzlocke. Then go ahead, I guess, and go crazy. Blast Burn, that functions like fire type. Draco Meteor, that's very strong at level 44. Most Pokemon learn that much later. And then Fire Vortex, which is like essentially Magma Storm, but it's 130 base power, 85% accurate, so that's really good. At level 48, of course. And your special attack stat isn't that much lower than your physical attack stat. However, Reckless does make that difference a little bit more noticeable, a lot more noticeable. And your special coverage isn't terrible. You do have stuff like Scorching Sands, and Hyper Voice. Did I even give Hyper Voice? No, I did, yeah. Focus Blast. It's not the greatest. I would never run a fully special set unless, like, you only need your stab moves for that fight. Then maybe you could pull it off. But utility sets are also good on Rapidash because of the fact that you don't need to run max speed investment, you can actually run max bulk. So 75, 70, 70 without any investment is pretty middling, but with max HP, you can actually start to take some really nice hits. And you can be like a bulkier speed boost Pokemon. That goes for any of the other faster speed boost Pokemon in this hack. You also have stuff like E-Speed, you have Swords Dance, which works great with speed boost. You do resist first impression, so this is one of the better sweepers in the game. A lot of sweepers are kind of hurt by the fact that there's strong priority moves and other anti-setup things running around. However, keep in mind stuff like Priority, Topsy-Turvy, Haze, Heart Swap, etc. will still stop you in your tracks. Reckless-wise, you have tons of great boosted options. So one-time base attack, while for this hack standard is not the highest thing on the planet, it's very good when you consider the stab combo and the reckless boost. So I didn't mean to click the competitive option, but I will quickly talk about it now since I clicked it. Competitive is very nice in this hack, especially for earlier in the game on a pre-evolution because of all of these stat dropping moves. So here are all the offensive ones. Tons of moves that will always drop your stats, and those are very common. And then on the status side, there are tons of new moves here as well that are very viable, especially because in an in-game sense, dropping stats is very important because the AI doesn't switch out unless they use a move like Parting Shot will switch a U-turn. Speaking of, you do get Parting Shot and U-turn, which is really nice. Most Pokemon get at least one switch move in this hack. I almost always try to give one of the three. But yeah, Reckless-wise, you do have Stab Double Edge, 125 base power, Stab Flare Blitz, 125 base power. Overheat is a special version of Flare Blitz, so that's good for special sets, or mixed sets for certain boss fights. And then you get Head Smash and Headlong Rush late game, but I'm going to cover the earlier options first. So chronologically speaking, you get access to Play Rough, Wild Charge, Rock Climb, and Takedown, which are all 110 base power recoil moves. Those are all coverage, so you have Fairy, Electric, Rock, and Fighting coverage right there. And then you get Head Smash and Headlong Rush for coverage later on, which are Ground and Rock, and those are very strong. You also have Megaton Kick for ground coverage, and stuff like Drill Run and all these other moves, but Megaton Kick especially is very good, 120 base power, 90% accurate. You have Stone Edge if you don't want to run a Head Smash, type. It just depends on the situation, because for example, for a speed boost set, you might not want to take that recoil. You might want to run more reliable options. Your best physical stab options are either, you do have Blaze Kick, which is reteachable via tail, which is really nice. That's 95 base power, 95% accurate. But if you want a little bit more power, you can use Flare Blitz. That just depends on what you need for that boss fight. But Blaze Kick will be totally good up until then. You've got other good coverage moves like High Horsepower, and Skull Bash is sick with speed boost. You can even run raw Skull Bash. You don't need to run Power Herb. Skull Bash gives you a +1 attack boost, accuracy boost, and defense boost now, and it's 90 base power, and it always crits. So that's a very strong normal type stab option for Rapidash. Very, very cool with speed boost. Because by the time you get the Skull Bash off, you'll have basically +1 attack, accuracy, speed, and defense. So that's really cool with Power Herb. So that's very, very fun. Swords Dance, very good. Great coverage moves, like I said. Also, High Jump Kick is also Reckless Boost. I didn't cover that yet. So that's a good option for fighting type over Takedown. However, in a Hardcore Nuzlocke, I would always run Takedown unless I have a Wild Lens equipped, because Jesus Christ, especially High Jump Kick. Even missing in general is detrimental enough, especially on a frailer Pokemon. But High Jump Kick is like you're literally playing with your life at that point. Not worth it at all in a Hardcore Nuzlocke. Which is kind of what this hack is balanced around. And you also have other fighting type moves right there anyways, like it's kind of overkill. Takedown's perfectly fine, it'll kill most things you want to kill. High Jump Kick is still nice though, especially if you're not doing a Nuzlocke or if you're running a Wide Lens. What was I going to say? There was something, Blazing Assault. Yeah, Blazing Assault is incredibly powerful. Blazing Assault is 60 base power, but oh my god, it's level 60, but it's essentially Flare Blitz but stronger, so it functions like Head Smash and Headlong Rush in the sense that it drops your defenses and it deals recoil, 30% recoil, which is the most recoil that any move in the game will deal. But the thing is, with Shell Bell, with the buff Shell Bell, you'll still be taking much less recoil. So Shell Bell heals you by 20% HP now, so any Reckless Pokemon, of which there are many more now, greatly benefit from that. They can run, for example, Plague Rough, Wild Charge, Rock Climb, and Takedown. Those deal 0% recoil with the Shell Bell equipped. Flare Blitz and Overheat will only deal 5% recoil. Head Smash and Headlong Rush and Blazing Assault will only deal 10% recoil, net recoil, with Shell Bell. So that's really good for Rapidash. Of course, swapping around your items for a lot of boss fights is very useful. Focus Sash will be useful for a lot of boss fights to pivot in on a strong attack. Any boosting item in general, is very useful. All types of really fun options. Even a super effective berry to switch in on a specific attack and take out a specific Pokemon on that opponent's team. You've got all types of fun things you can pull off. I think I'll leave the video off there though. You've got other great coverage options, powerful stab moves that I'm not even going to bother covering. You can check out what all these moves do now in the description below. I appreciate you listening this far into the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Peace, y'all.